you were talking about being starstruck. I think it is medulla oblongata.
Yeah,
Did I say it right?
medulla oblongata.
Girl, I
You
went
gotta
to
use
school in
this.
Maryland.
You gotta use this.
No, you talk about being starstruck, and
And model behavior.
model behavior.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Listen, you're gonna get to know the album as you listen to this interview. I watched another interview. I prepped myself very well for this, so this is gonna be an exciting opportunity. Okay, here we go. Live from the studio of my studio apartment here in New York, New York. This is my first time doing a real, getting an opportunity to do like a first listen to an amazing artist and an album that I really, within like the last 12 hours, I researched and listened to it back to back to get the words, to get what you're trying to present. I'm proud of you, bitch. Himboism.
Himboism.
Did I say it right?
Himboism.
You sent me back when I sent the original questions. You said, "What is hoboism?"
Hoboism.
What?
Listen,
so
I don't.
sorry.
Hobo culture was a thing for a while. People were like entertain. People were like hobos, but like I think that's officially like it's not a PC term.
I was like, he's gonna think that I put this to AI, and I kind of did. But at the same time, I was like, well, it reiterated my words, but I was like, at the end of the day, I was like, don't put it to AI anymore unless reading it yourself.
I appreciate that.
Queer Late Night, as always, is promoted and presented for you, the listeners and viewers, to get to know the queer perspective and the opportunity of storytelling from a queer community member, an artist, a performer, a drag queen, a mental health provider. We love a story. We love an opportunity to get to know a person and their walks of life and their point of view. So thank you for watching Queer Late Night. You have a manager.
Sorta. Yeah. I'm trying hard to
You're doing it.
expand a team. The complicated thing is that I've been doing all of this by myself for so many years.
How many years?
I can't even put into words how many years. I've been, writing songs and building like work since I was a young person, but professionally, it's been years, and I've never had a manager, and I've never had anyone on my team to really like send the extra email or whatever, or represent me when things go a little bit aside. So I've learned a lot, and in a beautiful way, and I feel good about that, and I feel good about representing myself, and I'm happy to be working with other people now, and I hope to expand my team. And the cool thing about expanding a team is like I have worn all of the hats of all of those people, so I can trust people to do what they do best.
Well, you know what you want at the end of the day, right? You're able. The one thing I always say, like, even with podcasting and producing and reaching out and trying to talk to artists and gain a relationship that we can like do a intimate conversation about your art and what you're trying to produce, is like wearing all the hats does give you the opportunity to be like, this is exactly what I want from a person that would like to step in and help,
Yeah, but it's also nice.
this.
It's also nice not knowing,
Yeah.
and it's nice being able to finally like take the hats off and just be like, oh yeah, you're good at that. I'm not going to worry about it. And like, also I'm in the fun business. So like, I just want to have fun now. It's so much fun. This has taken me 2 years to make, so I'm just ready to have some fun.
It's okay. So we have a lot to talk about because there's a lot of questions. And so this is where I go ahead and say congratulations, because you know what? I started, you've seen the script, but I'm going to give you the real life script because I had to withhold some information. When you sent me the album on Friday and we agreed to do this interview, and I started listening yesterday. I was at home with my parents. We were doing, just a little barbecue, just doing stuff in the yard. And I put it on, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, well, I can't pop my ass and dance and cut the weeds and do everything I want to do and listen to the words. So today on the bus ride back to New York City, I was listening to every single thing. I replayed a lot of it, and because I wanted to like have things that I wanted to talk about, of course. But
Thank you.
I was able to do some history searching, and like you put together 2 albums this year. We're going to talk about it in a little bit, but what was it like? Like you created a sound, a story. Hold on. I'm going to tell you what I wrote. It's right here. Congratulations. No, here's some of the words I used. It was when we talk about the sonic engineering, some of the elements for me felt very airy, felt very smooth. The transitions had these pre and outro interludes where, like, you know, I felt like I was listening to Beyonce a little bit.
Okay.
You know? No,
It's careful, because someone said thought I was Beyonce once, and I haven't talked to that person in a long time. So.
what's wrong with thinking you're Beyonce, bitch? What's wrong with thinking you're J-Lo, bitch? What's wrong with thinking you're anybody that you admire? Do you admire Beyonce?
No, yeah, exactly. That's the point. So I didn't take it as offense, but I love that, and I mean it's an album. So I mean, it's, when I listen to albums, I want to be in your world for like however many minutes or whatever. Even if it's a 10-minute EP, I want to be in your world for 10 minutes. Like, that's the vibe.
And you give a lot of different pathways into a world. I was writing that I didn't expect it to be like rap. There was spoken word.
Yeah.
You were singing on it. You took on so many different mediums of art. What was that like for you?
Natural. I mean,
Yeah.
it's something that I don't get to really explore a lot in my daily life.
Okay.
I feel like when it comes to recording music, it's when I can actually use my voice.
Yeah.
I feel like my daily life, my performative daily life and my creative daily life, I don't really get a chance to be my best self a lot, as much as I want to.
Why is that?
I don't think I'm given the opportunity to. And
Okay.
I think that even if I take the opportunities to be my best self, I put myself in situations where in comparison to other people's version of either their best selves or maybe how they perceive me as my best self, I have to dim my shine a bit.
Yeah.
I've always felt like that. I mean, I'm very tall.
Yeah.
I'm 5'6".
Okay.
And I'm 6'5" actually.
Do you find yourself constantly having to navigate spaces like where like you have to tone it down just so someone else feels comfortable? Or
I mean, but that's my own problem.
No,
And the problem is that I've made it my problem for a
Really?
long time. Yeah, for a very long time. And you know, even in current situations, with it being, you know, June and Juneteenth and Pride Month and whatever, 2025 energy, like it just, I have always made myself smaller for other people, not because anyone has asked me to, but because I have felt like I've needed to.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That's fine. No,
Yeah.
I understand that. I understand where that, you know, you're coming from that. But like for me, I understand like, you know, people would seek after you. You're a really nice person. You're kind.
Oh, thanks.
Your art, your persona, your personality, the things you offer, because, you know, there's a deep dive and a deep lore to who Boy Radio is outside of your music artistry. You know what I mean? Like, so at the end of the day, I can imagine it's kind of a lot to all take in. But at the same time, you know, me and my dad were talking about this when I was at home. He always would say this to me as a kid. He's like, don't let people try to judge you or try to like, don't ever try to fit in someone else's box. Remember, that person has put their pants on this thing when you put your pants on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, arms first.
Arms first, honey. Arms first.
You do
Neck
the wiggle
first.
and then you shimmy them down to your waist.
And then we talked about that deeper. He was like, no, I mean, like, they're a person too, right?
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a dichotomy of like, you know, how much do I dull down outside of how much you present? Because at the end of the day, you're doing it.
No, and that's the vibe. So, and in that respect, like with Himboism and a lot of the recordings I do, I am able to kind of turn that voice off and just play. And like I've loved learning how to mix music better. I've loved learning how to record my voice and other people's voices better. I haven't really had a chance to record other people. There were, you know, times in the history of me like building music and writing and creating where I thought, oh, I could like have a studio and I could work and like make other people, sound good or whatever. But it's just it's a weird energy because there's a lot of cost that goes into that, not in a negative way, in a way. Like this is the last experience in my making something where I decided it's important for me to do the work myself.
Yeah.
Like
I was gonna get to that.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to look at song credits and just trying to build some like.
You're like, how many people wrote on
I
this?
wasn't necessarily how many people wrote, how many people can we shout out, because the queer community, especially in the music industry, is just as like, I guess, shallow and difficult as the regular music industry, if that makes any sense to anybody that's listening. So I wanted to give the opportunity, because I know a person like you, like if you work with someone, you obviously want them to be a part of your art.
Hell yeah. I want them to be a part of the whole story. I want, like, if I write a song with you and you're like, pay me $2,000, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of money. First of all. Second of all, this is a song that I hope that we can take to the top. Like, I hope this is something that in 10 years you understand that I'm still going to be singing, because it is a part of a part of this story. And like, regardless of if it was $2, $200, $200,000, like, if the intention is we're making good work and the world that we're building is meant to be like cohesive enough that like you are going to push this music or push this idea, then fucking do it.
I want to take a step back before we
get back, please.
Bring it back a little bit. Himboism, I wanted you to define it, and then I wanted to get your perspective on how that defines and encompasses the artwork that is Himboism, the album, the song work, the writing, the beats. Like, can you give us like some more? Because I don't know, I just thought, like, to be a himbo, I just got to hang out at the Eagle on Sunday night.
I mean, you can do that. At what time?
At
6 p.m.
I want to be home by 9.
Early.
You have it. Tell me.
Yeah. I mean, off the dome,
Mm-hmm.
the idea of Himboism is always that it's been sort of a switch, like a playful switch you can turn on.
Okay.
It's the idea that, and it's funny that you bring up the Eagle, because I think that's where it stemmed from.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who's ever been to an Eagle or a New York Eagle night, you know that it's very handsy. It's very hands-on. It's very handsy, grabby.
But not without consent, girls.
No, that's the thing. It
Get your
is
consent.
a lot of times without consent.
We can talk about it on another podcast, bitch.
No. This is what Himboism stemmed from, is the fact that I was going to the Eagle every once in a while, and people were grabbing me in all places that I didn't tell them to grab me and whatever. And it's sort of like the way that I explained it. I'm going back in time now. And it's like someone grabbing me, and me, instead of getting angry or me taking their hand and furiously taking it off my butt or my balls or whatever, it's me stopping, like turning around and being like, oh, how cute that you think that you could just grab my balls without talking to me. What even is your name?
Yeah.
And having people be like, and I'm like, oh, you don't have a name? Like, and like really shifting the energy to like, I'm not going to take that as an aggressive act. I'm going to take it as you actually have an issue with consent.
You don't know how to be checked. You've never been checked before.
You've never been checked before.
And now you're about to.
And
but
so
not in the way you think.
But yeah, exactly. And my checking people in that way wasn't ever meant to be an aggressive act. It was always meant to be playful. Because I'm not going to let anyone else mess up my good time because they're too good. Like, they're too good, so they can be like, I'm just doing whatever I want. I'm gonna put my hands on this person. Like, and for the girls too. Like, girls in New York get it all the time. They get catcalled and the whole thing. And a lot of the girls, like, when they found their power, it's when they turned around and stopped and said, "Oh, you want to do what? Okay, well then take my number." And then the guys are like, "Oh, what? You go?" And they're like, "Yeah, what?"
I love to take my number.
So the Himboism mentality came from, like, how do I turn moments where I've been made to be objectified into moments of power?
Yeah.
How do I take the idea that because I go to the gym for my own health and wealth, not necessarily for my aesthetic, but because I love going and because it's built me into a person that I feel like I feel more confident.
Yeah.
How do I take when people are like, dang, well, you're just wearing these little daddy shorts, which I am wearing my little daddy shorts today.
Little daddy.
You're just wearing these shorts and I just felt like I could just grab your, and I'm like, tell me more about that. At what point in your life did you ever think that grabbing someone without them telling you could was okay? And are you in therapy right now?
Oh my God. What a... I would literally turn into like I would never do that to someone, but also I would literally turn into like a little bath bomb.
So that's one of the stem points of Himboism, is that it comes from a place of actual intense knowing and intense self-worth, that you're smart enough to act dumb. Like, you're smart enough to be able to take into account that, yeah, I look good and I'm going to wear this tank top and no pants. I'm gonna Winnie the Pooh today.
It's ownership.
It's ownership. And then when you're met with people who don't respect that, when people come up to you and they're like, dang, like you're putting it all out there. It's like, no, I'm not putting it all out there for you. I'm doing this because we're at a space where I'm allowed to be my best self and I get to have fun. And you don't get to take that and turn it into your plaything. I get to be my own plaything. And if I decide that I want to let you let me, then we're good. It's all that. It's like it's all about that.
I want you to do a song with Meg Thee Stallion.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I feel like a lot of her music definitely represents, like, you know, ownership of your own body, space, time, sexuality, and like how you want to present yourself. Because no one's going to tell you how to present yourself. At the end of the day, you have your own art, you have your own mind, you have your own intelligence, your own way about it. And then at the end of the day, another end of someone else's day, isn't it all just drag?
I mean, for
a
the
little
most part.
bit.
But I did write this, so listen to this. Himboism is it's playful, it's confident, it's a mindset. I said it's a kind set. It's rooted in radical joy.
Okay.
It's flirtation. It's unapologetic. It's self-expression. It's about being strong and soft at the same time. I said sexy and silly because that's real. I love silly. Like, I walked into this space and your dog is wearing a donut that has flowers all around it, and I was greeted by a giant pit bull. She's a pit, right? She's pitty?
She's a pit bull, yes.
Giant pit bull with flowers around her head in a donut inner tube fashion, and I just lost it. Like, that's what I want to walk into every situation in. Like, what? I have to go get my driver's license picture. When I walk in that driver's license office, I want to see a dog with an inflatable tube. Silly.
Make my day. Make my day. Yeah, thank you. We were going to talk about this too. Like, when you talk about silly and playful, like, of course, there's writers, there's teams about these questions.
Shoe cam.
There we go. A little boot. A little Cowboy Carter got my boots in the mud. The sand. What was it?
Is that a lyric?
I don't know what's going on.
I'm a big fan, but I'm really late on like things.
Pop culture.
And so I'm so excited because when I receive it, I receive it.
All right, make some noise one more time. Put your hands together for Boy Radio.
Hello. Welcome. Relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. That's right. No thinking. Just sweet joy sensations.
Why you playing with me? No, don't play with me. I'm so excited you do songs tonight. Go ahead. This song is called Hungry Horny.
You are now listening to Boy Radio.
Horny is the manifesto.
I intend to be my best self.
Call it an emotional flex or whatever. I just checked my ego and I do not care where we go.
The album art for Himboism is, and I've noticed it in a lot of your artwork, it's this like superhero, listen, I only had Cartoon Network, so I'm just going to say superhero.
Yeah,
I don't know.
real.
It looks like anime. You have a sword. You look great. Every time you do something like this, I've also watched other content that you have. I'm not sure if that's something you ever want to talk about, but like the superhero, the bodysuit theme. This is what I'm wearing, a bodysuit. I love it. How does that, the imagery and the album art play into Himboism as the overall music caliber it is.
So you're talking about I'm wearing like a superhero bodysuit and I'm holding a sword, like a katana sword.
I know what a katana sword is.
This is like a Final Fantasy sword. So that is the unofficial album cover. It is something that I really like in leaning into the silliness. Mm-hmm. That's a big part of it. Is like I am coming from a place of like pure joy and tension, but I also know that like there has to be the expression of joy, because I don't like. I'm also a nerd. I'm such a nerd. Like if you grew up on Cartoon Network, I grew up on Adult Swim and Nickelodeon and all that stuff too. So like all of that like crazy, silly, kooky ooky, Ren and Stimpy dumb shit. I love that stuff. So
scary.
A lot of people do.
Courage Cowardly Dog.
So weird.
You've now put out, written, produced. Now we know that you produced 2 albums in 1 year. Why? Tell me. Pop. There was Pop That.
Sure. Pop That Deluxe is a remaster of album that I put out in 2019.
Okay.
So it's a redux. It is me learning how to mix better and master better. So I just took a lot of the songs, most of the songs, with the exception of like 1 or 2 songs, and put them back out because I wanted to reintroduce my sound, my voice. I wanted to. You know, those are songs that I do love very much, but I definitely have grown from them and have grown from the sound, and that process was a different process than this one. I was working on Pop That when I was in kind of my first major relationship, and I was more open about writing about stuff like that. I felt like it was like directly influencing, and then 2020 happened, and I found myself kind of in a cocoon for a little bit, and I didn't write all of 2020. Through the entire year, I didn't write a single song.
COVID?
Didn't write a single song.
Were you eating?
I ate. I gained weight. I gained weight. I learned to lift. Mostly ass. And no, I was cooking. I was like ordering, going to Trader Joe's. We were taking trips to Trader Joe's, and we were like cooking stuff. And
it was a year. It was
in a time, and I was in a really beautiful relationship. And I, as much as I wanted to write, as much as I wanted to lean into the creative like life I wanted to build up, I just couldn't do it. I didn't feel like there was any point. I really didn't. My muses weren't musing. Like I was feeling a little absent of sounds and ideas, and I just wasn't hearing things the way that I started hearing things after we broke up.
Was there like a particular artist that Pop That's different from Himboism, but like artists that inspired you or people that you listen to then now that you can really like, this sound, this is what I want. Because I wrote down some names and I didn't want to talk about them because like, what if it wasn't any like mainstream artists.
Steve.
One of them was like Janelle Monáe that popped out. I was
Richard.
Like, Richard.
I'm just naming names.
Oh, okay.
You said you wrote down names. I'm like, did you just
I wrote down a lot of.
Janelle Monáe, great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes.
Was there a Nicki Minaj moment?
Yes.
Okay,
100%.
Okay. What song was it? Can you tell me which song it was? Because I think I know which one.
That inspired me to like.
Did you have that Nicki Minaj moment? Because I think that I wrote down. I wish I had my notes.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the story of Himbo.
Okay.
Himbo is a track that is technically like a mixtape track.
Okay.
So like if you want to try and write a song to that instrumental, you can. Mo Hart did. Mo Hart wrote a song about frogs, and it's to the same Himbo beat, and bless her, it's a song. But I don't know, like when I heard that track in 2019.
Okay.
So it took me 2 or 3 years to finally write something to it. And I actually remember I played that track for my friend who's no longer with us, and I was like, I really like this sound. It was kind of like based on DaBaby.
Okay.
And I remember thinking those 808 drums. Yeah, exactly. I remember hearing those 808 drums, the doom, 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 and being like, this is a great sound, and I'm curious as to how this sound is going to affect like music. And it did for a second. They were like, Justin Bieber wrote a song, Picture Perfect, you don't need no filter. That song has the 808s in it, and I was like, okay, cool. So this sound is like making its way through. And so when I finally got the idea to write that song, it started with the chorus. I'm gonna go dumb, I'm gonna go himbo, I'm gonna get super dumb. I started just toying out with that idea. And then when I got to the verse, I'm gonna go dumb, I'm gonna go himbo, and I'm gonna wear like little daddy shorts, talk about sports like them boys do. Yeah, I'm gonna take pictures, my dick look cute like some of them boys do. Isn't that what them boys do? I of course went to, what's the song? I can't even remember what it is, but it's one of my favorite Nicki verses.
I wish I could.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking
because it's
about,
like same vibe. I'm gonna do kicks on a post, flicks on a one, put my tips on a bitch, prets on a cat on a one-on-one. And I was like, okay, so there's barb energy here.
Yeah.
And there's so many male artists who are barbs who do not feel confident saying that they're barbs because of hip hop culture, and instead of owning their otherness in their creative hip hop influences, they shy away from them and try to be like, I'm original. Also, I'm gonna do kicks on post flicks.
Is it because it's a female artist?
Yeah. Well, it's not even just a female artist. Nicki Minaj is probably one of the more queer artists in hip hop, even though she's not, like, she doesn't necessarily represent, but she does represent otherness.
She represents otherness, and she represents the girls that are like her, the ones that will absolutely be your friend. In high school, don't try to fuck her, man.
Yeah, and who will like out of nowhere be like, I have a British accent all of a sudden. It's like, it's like Sherry, like
a character.
Yeah, like they put on characters. And then they're like, it's like fine.
Thanks for letting me get my time every time tonight. And happy Pride in New York City. You can sing it if you want. METULLAODLONGATA. METULLAODLONGATA. I'm a huge fan of burlesque too, so I got something for you. You can sing it if you want. Now it's me, the unapologetic. Always been the unapologetic.
Wait, I want to ask you something else. Finish him. There's so many songs. You have almost 17 songs. I can't talk about all of them. We only have so much time. But
Got you. Sorry.
Finish them.
Also with Nicki Minaj, I was playing.
No, finish him. The line is, it's first of all, it's what's it? Step, step, step. I'm gonna play it right here. In step, it's a drill beat. So you managed to add in a different layer and sound of like cultural, like I guess appreciation reference to like black culture at least, to have that like step. But the lyrics say, honey, let me see what I wrote down. The lyrics say, 10 o'clock, you change plans on me, and baby, watch your step. I think I took, there's a brief break where I was just listening. The 10 o'clock, you change your plans on me, and we're gonna briefly talk about it really quick.
Because what time were the plans?
What time were the plans?
No, tell me. You tell me. What time the plans were?
I think the plans were at 10 o'clock.
They were at 11.
They were at 11. Isn't that frustrating?
Yeah. That's why I wrote the song.
And you know what? I appreciate it because I was listening to the whole thing. I was like, and step. And also, you're a nice person. So to hear you come from like a position of like, please.
I wrote that song in 10 minutes. I wrote that song in 10 minutes, and I was pissed that I wrote it in 10 minutes because it's my favorite song on the record.
It's so good.
It's my favorite song on the whole thing. And
Can you do a remix of that one too?
I have to.
Yeah,
I have to because the song is too expensive. I have to do a remix of it.
It reminds me. I'm not sure if you're a JoJo fan, but it reminds me of Porcelain.
Okay.
If you get a chance to listen to it, it's very much like, I am doing me at my authentic self, and you're doing yourself at authentic self, and it's letting me know you can't make plans at 10, coming up to me with these basic like catchphrases and buzz lines, and it's like, I don't know about that.
This is probably the the takeaway part of this podcast moment. This is the viral moment. If you plan on changing someone's plans or ghosting somebody, just also plan on not talking to that person anymore.
Ever again.
I'm speaking to the camera because I've dealt with this too many times, and my heart is too fragile. I have tattoos. I have 5 tattoo hearts on my sleeve because I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I am too tall, too old, and too cute to be left on red for too long. That's why I wrote this song.
What is too long? What is too long?
Too long is more than 2 weeks. I think I think at this point, like,
Bitch, you better not try me. You better leave me on red for 2 hours. I'm definitely going to jump. I'm doing something crazy.
I'm at the point where I'm definitely getting better at just being like, oh, okay, it is what it is. And like, you just said it. You literally just said it. When someone shows you who they are, and you also are like comfortable with who you are, then it's actually not a big deal. It's not a bad thing that the person changed the plans last minute. Or
It's actually better.
It's better.
Yeah.
It's better.
I was going to do my own thing anyways. Now you just gave me a better reason.
And it breaks your heart a little bit. There's a little bit of limerence that comes in. That's limerence is basically like when you have a super crush on somebody.
Yeah.
You're getting to know someone. You're like, I really like this person.
You better educate, yes.
I'm getting to know them, but I'm actually starting to fall in love a little bit with them. I mean, I'm falling in love with the idea of them. I'm imagining us taking trips together. I'm imagining dates. I'm doing the thing. It's called limerence. And then they fall off. And it's like you've broken up without even getting to that point. And the reason why I wrote Finish Him was because I have had that happen several times, and I think it's just it's just the sign of the times. Like we have a lot going on. Social media is a lot. There's a lot of pictures. People are busy. It's fine. Everyone's
People
busy.
got all types of excuses, but realistically, if you really want to get to know someone and you really want to, like, you got to go out on your own limb and outside of your own box of discomfort and really give them the opportunity to really piss you off. And honestly, at the same time, like, I think a lot of us need to, take a step back and first thing, you can't 10 o'clock, bitch.
Yeah.
And the plans were at 11. Don't ever call me again. But also at the very same time, if you really want to get to know someone, do it.
Sabrina Zohar, one of the
go to the date. If it sucks, just leave early. Tell them that you have
symbols that make up something. Sabrina Zohar, I follow her, and she says she said there's nobody more there's no one busier than a person who's not interested.
Exactly, and the people that want to make time for you will make time for you, and that's it.
That's what Finish Him is essentially about. The heart of a Finish Him is that. I was really not happy, and I wrote that song in 10 minutes, and I sat with those words, and I was like, this is funny because this is how I feel.
Did you write that drill part in there?
That didn't even it wasn't even like, oh, like, let me, where, like, oh, you know what should go here. It was like, I heard that immediately.
Okay.
I was like, this is what happens here. Because I said, like, in my mind, it was, I don't want to fight. Mad bitches always want to pull me to the side. And I was like, side. You don't have the right. Move it to the left. Baby, watch your step. Step.
This episode is brought to you by Good Head Barbershop, a queer and PC-owned space serving sharp cuts and even sharper vibes in Hell's Kitchen and Chelsea. Book your chair, feel your care, and leave with good head every time.
You're really close to Alaska Thunderfuck. You're close to a lot of drag artists. You've done multiple different venues and plays and things like that. How has crunchy drag, someone sent this in, they was like, you called it crunchy. I was like, we can't say crunchy, but how has drag really shaped your artistry as a songwriter and then an entertainer? How has drag really given you a different paradigm to work from?
It has always been about fun.
Bianca
Del Rio, great mentor of sorts and incredible icon.
Yeah.
Like being on a set with Bianca Del Rio and having her be like, remember, drag is fun. Like, remember everyone, we're having fun, right? Aren't we having fun? Like,
she's reading the shit out of
completely. That's the whole point. It's like, that is a part of their joyful perception of them putting themselves in 3 hours of makeup, putting on the zhuzh and the heels and everything, showing up, and then being told to wait for another 2 hours before we can actually get the shot. Remember, drag is fun. Like, I'm uncomfortable, aren't you?
Aren't you? Did you have fun on that set?
I had so much fun.
About it.
It was so much fun.
It was fun, right?
But that being said, to answer your question, like, when I decided to put on drag in a way, crunchy, I call it crunch. When I put on crunch, I did it because I just wanted to have fun. I thought
it looks great
because I love music. Like that's also the point. Like I have an arsenal of songs in my head that I know all the lyrics to and that I can lip sync at a drop of a hat.
I'm surprised you're not a Leo because you really command a room. Like to, it's one to be confident in songwriting and singing and be able to be in front of a audience, but to put on an outfit after someone like I don't know, a drag race queen or someone that's got a different persona goes on before you, and you come out there with your fucking breastplate that's wrong,
breastplate wrong color, Mr. Potato Head outfit from Amazon, and
Matella's hair.
And I'm like, do you know where you're going to?
It's written in the cards that we go to this next question. What is it like? Because I'm like Sally. You ever watch American Horror Story when the Sally's sitting in the bed and she's like, the heroin addict in Ryan Murphy's American Horror Story. I'll put the picture up. She's laying in the bed and she's trapped in a hotel, and she's like, she discovers social media, and she's just trapped in this hotel, and she's like watching people on social media, and she's having a great time.
Wow.
Where I've worked some jobs that hasn't allowed me to be out there for you, watching you, on social media, watching you blossom your platform. I'm like, does it ever hit you when you come out on stage and you're like, girl, I'm presenting crunch. That's what you said. And then they're eating every little bit of the crunch munch up. Does it ever hit you in a way and like, wow, like, damn, I'm performing on a stage in New York City. I'm living out my dream.
No.
Okay, let's leave. Let's leave.
Do you know why? Do you know why no?
Why?
Because in the times that I've gotten to do that, I just was having so much fun.
Yeah. Of course,
I was having so much fun. The time that I did Alice in Wonderland, and then I like rolled into Gwen Stefani's Wind It Up, or like, like FKA Twigs, and I was like dressed as a horse. Like I just love it. And the thing that made me like love it even more was people coming up to me, like girls coming up to me and being like, I don't know what it is about you, but like I'm attracted to you, and like I'm not attracted to men. I'm like, but for some reason, like you in this is fucking me up. Or like dudes who have like full beards, and they're like, I never thought I could do drag, and now I feel like I should try it. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like have fun with it. Like I think I just, that feeling, now that you say it like that, like it makes me kind of, I haven't done it in like a year because I was getting hate from the girls, like from the girls were like, you literally showed up and didn't put any makeup on your face. And I'm like, yeah, honey, because I have these cheekbones. I don't need makeup. I can just put, I can put highlighter here, and a lip, and I'm good.
Listen, if you know your art and you know your lane, it is. I understand though. My boyfriend sent the word crunchy drag, and I deleted it from the thing. I was like, you can't call this drag crunchy. And he sent a photo of you
saying
and
crunchy.
The photo, no, baby, I didn't have to read the photo. The photo was crunchy as fuck. I was like,
me eating Cheetos, like.
But it's your art. It's part of your art form. Your talent.
So much fun.
Just like lip singing and not singing the song live for a lot of drag artists. Yeah. That's a part of their repertoire. Who is your ultimate himbo action figure?
Okay, yeah, sure. I mean, The Rock.
The Rock.
Yeah, if I had to purchase an action figure and put it on my thing. Actually, no. It's funny. It's like The Rock is the perfect himbo body type action figure, but I think John Cena might be the himbo.
God, I was going to say that.
John Cena actually might be the himbo.
He is the himbo
because he wears the long jean shorts that go past his calves. He Fruity Pebbles.
He gives off dumb, but he's not dumb.
No, he's super smart, and he's very, very funny, and he's very silly, and he's able to like take into account how big he is and like use that. And
he's turned wrestle WWE into he's playing the same character in every movie and keeps getting more and more money.
He's doing a good job.
Well, if you can't be a himbo, how can you be a himbo?
Also, Vin Diesel sort of hit himbo status when he started his Instagram.
You know who's a himbo that I be thinking about sometimes?
Who?
That one from SVU. What's that dude's name? From
Ice-T?
No. Law and Order, the bald head guy, Chris something.
Does he have like the hair on the side?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. I don't know his name, but
all right.
Law and Order.
That's actually the scariest music I've ever heard in my entire life. That whenever I hear that, I'm like, someone just got. Anyways, here's another question for you: are you more horny or hungry right now?
I'm hungry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hungry,
starving.
What's your go-to late night snack?
Thai food.
Really?
Yeah.
Where do you get Thai food at late night?
Thai Me.
Thai Me?
It's a Brooklyn spot.
Shout them out. Thai Me?
Thai Me, great.
Send me
Myrtle
some
Broadway.
food, girl, and some money.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's take it a step further. What's
Sure.
your favorite all you can eat?
Ooh.
Have one.
Woof. Yes, these are the questions. See, I am hungry. Okay. I'm so mad. TuneCore banned my album too, and they said it was because of that song. And I'm like, that song is about food. Okay, there's a spot in the Upper East Side. It's a seafood restaurant.
Okay.
It's like on 56th, and if it's your birthday, you eat for free. It's like a $80, $80 to $100 per person ticket or something like that. But it's an all-you-can-eat buffet.
All right.
And you really just go on someone's birthday. Like that's the only time you really want to go to this place. But like when I tell you that like people were eating the house down,
boots,
100%, and like it got to the point where like by the end of the night we were all just like this.
Yes. You know, mine's is 99 Taste. There's this place called 99 Taste that's on Grand Street on the lower, I guess, east side near Chinatown. Same thing. I think it's like $40. All you can eat.
I want to go.
And you make the food. It's a hibachi grill. So you make.
Oh, you do it.
Yes, I love trying to burn the house down. That's my favorite thing.
Literally house down boots.
A house down boots. You pay for it, not me.
I love this conversation.
Who do you envision yourself working with in the future? You put out 2 albums this year. That's a lot of work. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Who's someone, offhand, you don't gotta share everybody, but that you'd love to work with?
I mean, I say it almost every time, and I would like to manifest it, and I don't know what the heck is going on.
This is you talking about it, so this is you manifesting.
I just want to work with Pharrell.
You do?
I do. I really do. I mean, I even have I got my NERD hat. Like I wear, I really do. I still listen to. It's like my power band, and a lot of his beats. I mean, like any song that I've ever started with a 4 intro where it's like dun dun dun. Even Buzzkill is 4 before. That's all Pharrell influence. If he gave me one of his beats that he hasn't even used in 30 years, I'd probably immediately write something to it. Like, I don't know. Like the sound comes from the ethereal space of like creativity that like only the nerdy black kids know.
I know. No, it's good. No. Why do you think queer art is important, especially now in the world? Why is it important specifically for queer artists watching this, who know you, who's thinking about it? Just why is it important?
It is important because they are trying to erase people's stories, and it is important that people don't imagine that even to begin with, because there's a part of your question that makes me feel sad coming into the summer. It makes me feel disheartened because it's not a new story. Yeah. It's not an unfamiliar story. It's not a story that I can say I've never felt or never not felt. It's a story that I can say I've sometimes imagined from a very young age that people didn't care about me or didn't want me to succeed. And every person will say, it doesn't matter what people think. You need to do you. And it's like, you're right. And then you do you. And then all of a sudden you're met with resistance.
Yeah, right off the bat.
or you hit a glass ceiling and you're like, well, you can only go so far. Like even like playing my music for some of my straight friends of music, they were like, I really liked it, and then I realized that you were gay. And I was like, yeah, dude, like, and I'm like, is that a problem? They're like, well, the thing is, like, I can't play this for my friends. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, because it would make them uncomfortable. And I'm like, cool, no problem. It's not for you. But the thing is, it is for you because it's music.
It's music.
I made beats I worked with beats that are drum and bass. I worked with house beats. I worked with tech house beats. Like, and so to answer your question a little bit more on the nose, the art that represents our community as a culture and not as a sexual preference is so important, because it is a part of our lineage, it's a part of our ancestry, and it's a part of our story. A lot of us don't even know where we came from. A lot of us don't even know that we're the descendants of kings and queens, because we have not been given that information. And that part of that story has come from us creatively working to imagine what it looks like to put on a crown, or to find our energy, or to even be crowned. The queens, we call them queens. We call them kings. We call them drag kings, kings, and drag queens queens. We call them royalty. There is an element of power that comes from being able to imagine yourself in these spaces, to be able to create, to be able to be inspired by people who are living and dreaming and showing you that this is a viable source of life.
Right.
And it is going to be hard, because that's what it has always been. And I had to deal with the idea of fearlessness with this, with Himboism. I had to deal with the internalized feeling that even using this album cover was going to put me in a position where I wasn't going to really be able to reach a number, because it potentially would be banned. It would potentially be shadow banned. The image might be seen by some as explicit, but at the end of the day, like, it's not explicit. I'm wearing athletic wear, and because of the energy of what you just spoke about, like that feeling of like, either I use the wholesome cover and it's the lo-fi wholesome cover that is generic and that will reach more people, but it might not be as like provocative, or might not be as impactful, but at least it's safe. Or I use the cover that I've worked on for 2 years, that I really do. Every time I look at this photo, I get a visceral joy reaction. Like, I made this with people. Like, this is cool. This is something that, like, if I saw this in on a billboard or on a vinyl, I would immediately be like, what is this? What is this?
Who is this person?
And it took me having to talk to myself enough and hype myself up. And it took me having to talk to a lot of my friends and colleagues and having them say, like, trust your instinct. And having that conversation, being able to say, like, yeah, we're in a time right now where, like, we need people. We need
the bravery. We need the art. We need to see the difference in. We need to see the art. That's it.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's real.
Now this song is called Himbo, and I'm very lactose intolerant, so let's go. Turn it up the rest. I'm a little dumb. I'm a little himbo. I'm gonna get super dumb. I'm gonna enter in my thighs. How they jiggle. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go himbo. Watch me, I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go himbo. I'm gonna get super dumb. That's your enter. Look at my thighs. How they jiggle. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go watch me, I'm gonna go dumb. I'm gonna go himbo. Isn't that what y'all into? I'm gonna wear like little daddy shorts, talk about sports like them boys do. Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture and take a little cute like some of them boys do. Isn't that what them boys do? Yeah, I'm gonna do kicks on, go flicks on, when I put my tits on, I get flicks on. Now I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, what kind of flow? What for I talk to the back, I'm a drink on the stack, I'm a king, I'm a beast, let's go. Cause I don't wanna talk like that, like he's on the track, wanna be like that. Hold on your nuts, we about to go dumb. We about to go himbo. We about to get super dumb. Cause now it's on time. Baby, look at my thighs. How they jiggle. I'm gonna go himbo. Watch me, I'm gonna go dumb. I'm gonna go himbo. I'm gonna get super dumb. That was y'all into. Look at my thighs. How they jiggle. I'm gonna go I'm going him, I brought rush to the just to dance with Nathan. When I pop that, all these boys be shaking. I got inches in the front and the cakes be taken. I don't fuck with hot sauce, but my vibes is unique. When I walk in the club, I know haters be hating. I don't fuck with the apps cause yeah, they gon' call you earthquake the way that ass be quaking. When they play this in the gym, you gon' wanna get naked. Move.
Make some noise for Boy Radio! We're on the